Hello, I am your neurofabulous friend, late diagnosed AuDHD, and today I'm talking about the Enneagram, or as my brain experiences it, personality testing with a candle and a side of existential dread. If you have ever been told that your struggles at work come down to a core fear or a fixation or a lack of growth, especially if you're autistic, ADHD, traumatized, or all three, this video is for you. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll understand what the Enneagram actually is and where it came from, what the science does and does not say about its validity, and how is it used in workplaces, and how can it unintentionally harm neurodivergent people and people with trauma histories. This is not about cancelling tools. Absolutely not. No cancel culture. But it is about using them responsibly. And you will have seen in my last video, I came after Myers-Briggs. And today, well, it's Enneagram. So for context, I work in safety risk and kind of that organisational leadership space. I hold a Master of Law right over there. And I'm in an office now. It's crazy. I love this. And I have been in leadership retreats and coaching rooms and workplace sessions where Enneagram is used seriously. And I've also lived the consequences of how these rules are applied. So I'm in the process of writing a second book about this because it is so mind-blowing to me that I could not put my words onto paper again. So just keep that in mind going forward. So quick pause before we go further. If you want more in depth around this, just to be clear, I have already written a book and it's called Unmasking Leadership, and it's available as a read out loud audiobook just here on YouTube. I literally read it all out loud for you to listen to if that is how your brain works. And I think the subscription is like $3 a month. Subscribe for $1, listen to the entire book, and then be gone with you. Or wait for the next book to come out and I'll audio that too. But anyway, now let's get to the context. I want you to cast your mind back to the previous video that I did around the Barnum Effect. And I'm going to link it here. It should pop up. It's a well-established psychological phenomenon first demonstrated by Bertram Forer in 1949. The Barnum Effect explains why people rate vague, general personality descriptions as deeply accurate when they believe that they're personalized. Statements like, "You crave independence, but also value connection. You're sensitive to criticism, but very resilient. You sometimes doubt yourself, even though others see your strength." Yes, you do, Queen. Most personality frameworks rely heavily on this effect, and the Enneagram is no exception. This matters because the feeling of accuracy is not the same thing as scientific validity. So, to understand the harm, we need to understand the origin. The Enneagram symbol itself predates modern psychology. It appeared in early mystical traditions, including Sufi teachings, as a metaphor for transformation and inner awareness, not personality typing. The symbol entered Western thought through George Gurdjieff. I might be saying that very wrong. I'm so sorry, George. Who used it to describe processes in movement, not identity. The idea of mapping human patterns onto the 9 points came later through Oscar Icazo, who described ego fixations and passions as coping strategies to observe and eventually loosen. This framework moved closer to psychology through Claudia Naranjo, who linked the patterns to emotional tendencies and early relational experiences. None of this work is empirical psychology. It was all exploratory, introspective, and explicitly spiritual. The Enneagram was never designed to be a workplace assessment tool, yet today It is often, very often, treated as one. So this is where we need to be a lot more precise. The most comprehensive modern review of Enneagram research was conducted by Joshua Hook and colleagues, published in the Journal of Clinical Psychology in 2021. Their review examined the reliability over time, factor structure, construct validity, overlap with established personality models like the Big Five, and the findings were super clear. There's no denying the findings. The Enneagram shows inconsistent statistical structure, weak test retest reliability, and significant overlap with existing personality traits without adding predictive value. So, pretty much, people often get different types over time, and the model does not reliably measure something distinctive. This does not make it useless for reflection, though. Let's remember that. It does make it inappropriate for assessment, categorization, or leadership evaluation, though. That it does do. So, why is this important for us cool, neurosparkly individuals? It's kind of where the harm of this process sits. The Enneagram does not just describe behavior, it moralizes it. So each type has a healthy, an average, and an unhealthy expression. That language turns neurological traits, like ours, into moral outcomes. So for neurodivergent people, needing routine becomes rigidity. Hyperfocus becomes withdrawal. Novelty seeking becomes avoidance, and emotional intensity becomes immaturity. No. But research in neuroscience tells us that these traits are not moral failures. Work by Christine Mazovsky, interesting surname, you can read that yourself. If you can pronounce it, please do let me know. And colleagues shows that emotional regulation differences in autism are rooted in neurological processing and executive functioning, not character or insight. So let's remember that. When personality frameworks label these traits as fixations or growth failures, they misattribute the biology of it to character. I don't like that. And that pushes masking as well. So let's talk a little bit about workplace and trauma harms. The Enneagram also invites emotional disclosure. People are asked to name core fears, childhood wounds, and emotional drivers in professional settings. For people with trauma histories, this can be really destabilizing. And for ADHD people, it can lead to impulsive oversharing. I know, I love a trauma dump. For autistic people, it can result in being really misunderstood or even being pathologized. And I don't love any of this. It also turns leadership training into an unregulated group therapy without psychological safeguards of group therapy or even consent. You, as my work colleague, do not want to hear my trauma dumping. Even though I would too, I would share all of my trauma. Lols. Once those stories are shared, they cannot be unseen. It's like toothpaste. You squeeze it out the toothpaste tube. You can't shove it back in the toothpaste tube, can you? That's the trauma sharing. Okay. So, in summary, if this is resonating, by the way, please subscribe. This channel really just explores leadership, neurodiversity, safety, kind of the workplace tools we're using. Some of them harm, some of them are helpful, free resources. Please, we're here for it. Come and join me. Join the subscribe button. Okay, so here is the key takeaway. Personality frameworks ask why you do something. Neurodivergent frameworks explain how your brain actually does it. When we confuse motivation with mechanism, we mislabel biology as a character flaw or trait. Leadership is not about fixing people's personalities. It's about designing environments where different nervous systems can function without being moralized, which is interesting. So, if you want to go deeper, please come along on this journey with me. You can check out the book, Unmasking Leadership. I've got one in the wings as well for later this year, which is going to be specifically around personality tests. And just remember, I've got read out loud versions as well, which are cheaper, more accessible, and designed for our neurodivergent brains. The link is below. So are all the free resources that I have around for you. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next week.